With the draft over and now 14 undrafted free agents signed, we're going to go through each of these undrafted free agents and see who the Dolphins grabbed. What is up, Finn fans? How is everyone doing on this Sunday? If you haven't checked out yesterday's video where I recapped the draft and also gave my grades on the draft. Spoiler, solid draft. I think I gave it like a B plus. definitely a very solid draft. Now, when the draft ended, there was some very, very interesting names still available. Now, obviously, the draft is comprised of 257 picks. So 257 picks, 257 is your total. And Kobe Minor was the Mr. Irrelevant to the Patriots. They actually traded up to be Mr. Irrelevant, which I thought was pretty interesting. And out of 257, there were some undrafted guys that were very interesting to me, like Jared Ivey out of Mississippi. The edge was considered per PFF to be ranked 61. Xavier Restrepo, who's the receiver out of Miami, Florida, 77th. Kobe Bryant went undrafted. He was considered 118 overall. Sebastian Castro, the safety, was 125. Zay Alexander, who I liked, was 160. A lot of these guys went undrafted. 179 was a certain somebody that we will talk about. So a lot of guys went undrafted. That is Seth McLaughlin, who's considered the second best center in this group, he went undrafted. Willie Lampkin, who is considered the fifth best guard in this group per PFF, went undrafted. So there's a lot of talent that went undrafted. Jared Ivey, comment below, or I'll probably look it up. I'm very interested to see why he went undrafted, because 61 overall is like second round, end of the second round, and he went undrafted. So I'm very interested to see why he went undrafted, because he did really well in 2024 with 8 sacks. He had a 90.6 PFF grade, and he went undrafted. So very interesting. So we're going to look at who the Miami Dolphins signed, and it was quick. I remember I made my recap video and I was like, all right, I'm going to like take a break because the past 3 or 4 days have been really hectic. So I made my recap video. I was like, I'm going to take a break, take a breather for Saturday night. See, and it's just like, I remember I was like, let me just hop on Twitter. Crazy, especially the Dolphins. They like right out the bat took 4 receivers. And I was like, holy crap, like just really rapid fire. That was very interesting. So this is the list. I'll show you the list of the undrafted free agents that the Miami Dolphins have taken. Oh, there's my big fat head. Here's your list right here. So we have John Saunders, Jr., safety out of Ole Miss, Alex Huntley, the defensive tackle out of South Carolina, Addison West, the guard out of Western Michigan, Ethan Robinson, the cornerback out of Minnesota, Eugene Asante, the linebacker out of Auburn, Bandon Adams, the cornerback out of UCF, Neeland Hibbett, the long snapper out of Alabama, which I think is very interesting that they took a long snapper to compete. Very, very interesting. Josh Preby, the guard out of Michigan. Jalen Conyers, the tight end out of Texas Tech. Theo Wees, the wide receiver out of Missouri. AJ Henning, wide receiver out of Northwestern. Nate Knoll, the running back out of Missouri. Andrew Armstrong, I'm going to talk about him, the wide receiver out of Arkansas, and Monterey Baldwin, the wide receiver out of Baylor. Also, they had a rookie minicamp invite for Kamari Morals, tight end out of Boston. He also had an invite to the Baltimore Ravens. Now, rookie minicamp, let me look it up, is, hold on. So OTAs start. They already started. First day is April 21st. Already started. OTA's off-season workouts for the Dolphins starts the 27th of May, the 29th to the 30th, June 2nd to 3rd, and June 5th. Mandatory minicamp is June 10th to the 12th. Rookie minicamps begin on May 12th, 2 weeks after the draft. So May 12th is rookie mini camps. They come in, they do their thing, and then the Dolphins, the vets, come in. So May 12th is when the rookies will be coming in to do their thing. So just a little tidbits of information. First off, Andrew Armstrong, 6'4" wide receiver. PFF had him ranked 179. And again, there's 257 players taken. He was ranked 179. He was the 23rd best wide receiver in this draft class, again, per PFF. Ran a 4.51, had 78 receiving yard receptions and 1,140 receiving yards. And the Dolphins grabbed him in as an undrafted free agent, which is awesome, especially because he's 6'4". If he can come in and be that instant success that we need as that physical wide receiver, then you might see Eric Uzukama be kicked to the curb. Again, the receivers, they went after 4. And Monterey Baldwin Jr., he's a 5'9" receiver. He's not very tall. Theo Wees, I think that's how you say his name, 6'2" wide receiver of Missouri. PFF had him ranked 244, right? So he would have been a 7th rounder when undrafted. 32nd ranked wide receiver. He receives a $230K guaranteed. Ran a 4.56, which is pretty nice there. AJ Henning, wide receiver of Northwest. He's kind of small, 5'10" as well, but instantly, boom, jumped on those wide receivers. Then they got Jalen Conyers, Texas Tech tight end, who was PFF's ranked 236, 14th out of 21. They signed him to a $115,000 guaranteed contract, ran a 4.74, which is pretty fast for a tight end. Eugene Asante, the linebacker, PFF had him at 288. So obviously they didn't think he was going to get drafted. 21 out of 27. He's more of an middle linebacker. Ran a 4.48. So there's that. And then John Saunders, safety out of Ole Miss, 6'2". He had 3 interceptions his past 2 years. Alex Huntley, the defensive tackle, 6'4", 305. Ethan Robinson, the cornerback, is 6 foot. I think it's very interesting they brought in Neelan Hibbett, that long snapper, to compete with Blake Ferguson. See how that all goes, being that Ferguson had to deal with something last year. Interesting that they bring a guy in to compete with him. But the interesting thing is how quickly they went out and grabbed these wide receivers, these 4 wide receivers, instead of going after guys like, and again, I'll say this and again, and again, and again. It's a two-way street. It's kind of like, oh, I wish they would have traded back in the draft or yada, yada, blah, blah, blah. It's a two-way street that the Dolphins might have wanted to get Kobe Bryant, and Kobe Bryant might have decided, I'm going to go to Atlanta anyway because that's where he ended up. Or the Dolphins might have wanted Isaiah Alexander. Or the Dolphins are in a situation, and we're going to talk about this probably tomorrow, where they're going to, no, tomorrow's needs. I'm going to talk about needs coming out of the draft. But they're going to look at free agency. Asante Samuel Jr., Rasul Douglas. There are guys out there. And again, if they trade, or when they trade Jalen Ramsey, that clears about $5 million in cap space, puts them at about $23 million, $22 million in cap space that they can use. And you might ask yourself, how much are these guys going to want? They could probably structure the deal where their first year on the contract isn't that bad, because I would love for the Dolphins to go out and get Asante Samuel Jr. and Rasul Douglas and go get me another safety. And I think I'd be way more comfortable going into the season having 2 vets to start, but also having, Ethan Bonner and Cam Smith and Storm Duck and even some of these other guys compete, but still have that security knowing I have 2 vets in here that will take the job, and I won't feel so lost on the back end of my defense. Because the linebacker situation, I am fine with, happy with. They got Gay in there. They got Jordan Brooks. Like, I really like who they have brought in. With that, the defensive line, I'm feeling better with Grant, with Jordan Phillips, and then some more guys. They can even go out and even Benito Jones. Pass rushers, I'm fine, again, as long as they could stay healthy. So it's more the corners and the safeties that worry me. So maybe some, they didn't really go hog wild at corner in undrafted free agency. They really went hard at wide receiver. Does that bode well for a Tyreek Hill trade? I don't know. Probably not. Again, these are undrafted free agents. You're not going to come in and outperform or make us forget about Tyreek Hill if he is traded. But it's interesting. It's very interesting. I'm very interested to see what you guys think. Comment below. Do you not really care about these undrafted free agents, or you think there's an interesting little dynamic of who they grab versus who they didn't grab? Because again, you're looking, if you go on PFF, you look at their best available, you scroll down just a little bit, there's Andrew Armstrong, the receiver we took, and he did pretty well. This is him. This is the undrafted free agent we grabbed. Look at his PFF grade here. He's got nothing really here. Armstrong brings impressive size, reliable hands to the table, showcasing his skills with an elite 89.4 receiving grade and SEC play. While he's not the most dynamic separator or after the catch threat, his production and physical profile make him a solid day 3 draft candidate. He went undrafted, and the Dolphins got him. Receiving grade, yards per route, contested catches, grade versus man, very, very interesting that the Dolphins were able to grab him. So comment below. Let me know. I'll see you guys tomorrow. We're going to talk about needs after the draft. Is there areas that we still need to address? Yes, there are. And then the next day we will talk about free agent targets and keep on keeping on. But like usual, stay classy. And fins up.